In today's show, Bitcoin price likely to start the next push up if $42,000 holds as support. And as pointed out here by Credible Crypto, strong moves up, shallow pullbacks, continuation. As long as $42,000 holds, low time frame wave structure indicates we're likely starting the next push up. And as Caleb shares here, Bitcoin and the 4-week Williams percentage R oscillator are flashing an exciting signal. When there is a full oscillation from oversold to overbought, it indicates a momentum thrust. There are 6 occurrences since January of 2020 after the weekly thrust. The average 1-month return is 25+%. Also, as pointed out here by Kevin Svensson, the change in trend, the change in sentiment, the change in market behavior is undeniable now. The disbelief stage is upon us. And this just in breaking news, former Russia Minister of Finance says banning Bitcoin would be like banning the internet. And also more breaking news, President Nayib Bukele lashes out after U.S. senators introduced legislation investigating El Salvador's Bitcoin law. The president responded, "Okay, boomers, you have zero jurisdiction on a sovereign and independent nation. We are not your colony, your backyard, or your front yard. Stay out of our internal affairs. Don't try to control something you can't control." And the president also says that Ukraine is just a distraction while the real war is against vax mandates. Preach. And this meme sums it up pretty well. IMF a few weeks ago, El Salvador adopting Bitcoin is a grave risk to its stability and economy. U.S. senators now, El Salvador adopting Bitcoin is a grave risk to our stability and economy. Facts. And as Plan B shares here, Canada might be the next Cyprus moment for Bitcoin. In 2013, the price of Bitcoin shot up when the Cyprus financial crisis led to fears of a run on the banks. And as the Binance CEO shares here, Bitcoin is apolitical, always neutral. In breaking news, years after calling Bitcoin rat poison, Warren Buffett just invested $1 billion into a crypto-friendly bank. And Berkshire Hathaway VP Charlie Munger calls coins like Bitcoin a venereal disease. And Bitcoin's response? We don't care. Also in today's show, crypto analyst predicts parabolic Bitcoin rally and updates massive Bitcoin price target for 2022. According to TechDev, Bitcoin could potentially rally to $160,000 before the end of the year based on Bitcoin's tendency to top out at 4 standard deviations from the 50-week exponential moving average Bitcoin impulse patterns, as you can see here in this chart. Also in today's show, Bitcoin now ready to surge according to crypto analyst Nicholas Merton and shares his latest targets. In fact, he predicts Bitcoin price rise between $150,000 to $200,000 as outlined here in this chart. I'll be breaking this down for you. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. As you can see, Bitcoin, Ether, and all the major alts are currently correcting and in the red. But where's the Bitcoin price likely to go next? Find out all this, plus so much more in today's show. Here at Crypto News Alerts, I drop a brand new episode every single day. The goal is to get to 100,000 subs along with a $100,000 Bitcoin price. If you like getting that crypto, be sure to smash that subscribe button and ring that bell to turn on all notifications to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, just like this. Today's episode is brought to you by the FTX app, formerly known as Blockfolio. I've been using this app literally every single day for the past few years. It's the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is check my crypto portfolio. I personally love it because it's the easiest and fastest way to buy Bitcoin, Ether, and other top cryptocurrencies with zero fees, truly making this a no-brainer. And they're trusted by over 6 million people worldwide and over 200 plus countries around the world. And they have a special promo they're running right now where you can earn free crypto in every trade over $10. Here's how it works. When you use my referral link in the description right down below, every trade over $10 earns you a chance to get a random free coin, and the more you trade, the more you earn. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and use my referral link in the description right down below and download the FTX app today. Make some trades, claim your free crypto, and let's start stacking those sats. Shall we? All right, welcome back to another episode of Crypto News Alerts. I'm your host, JV. How's it going, crypto fam? Make some noise in the live chat. Now, the crypto market remains in a state of flux as investors are once again focused on what steps the U.S. Federal Reserve might take to combat rising inflation, and markets wobble as the situation in Ukraine remains tense, which is nothing more than fake news, according to Nayib Bukele and Max Kaiser. Just saying. Data from Cointelegraph Markets Pro and TradingView shows that the price of Bitcoin has hovered around the $44,000 support level, and traders are hopeful that an inverse head and shoulders chart pattern will lead to a sustained bullish breakout. Right here, looking at the Bitcoin one-day candle chart. Now, here's a survey of what several analysts in the market are keeping an eye on moving forward as global issues from inflation to war continue to make their presence felt in the crypto market. Let's start with on-balance volume showing a bullish reversal. Insight into what may lie ahead for Bitcoin based on its on-balance volume, which is a momentum indicator that uses volume flow to predict changes in a price of an asset, was provided by market analyst and synonymous Twitter user Income Sharks, who posed the following chart highlighting the bullish reversal indicator, and quoting the analyst here, and people telling me we aren't bottomed out. This is almost a more bullish move than last time we went from $30,000 to $60,000. Double bottom, very sharp bullish V spike. Price action is just noise, and people are listening too much to crypto Twitter. Next up, bullish if Bitcoin holds $42,000 support. A similar bullish take on the current price action for Bitcoin was offered by analyst and synonymous Twitter user Credible Crypto, who posted the following lower time frame chart that indicates Bitcoin has more room to run. Sharing it right here. Strong moves up, shallow pullbacks, continuation. As long as $42,000 holds, low time frame wave structure indicates we are likely starting the next push up. Let's go. Now let's discuss the Bitcoin price increasing by 25%. A final bit of analysis that also took Bitcoin momentum into consideration was offered by market analyst and Twitter user Caleb Franson, who posted the following chart that included the Williams percentage R oscillator, a momentum indicator that measures overbought and oversold levels. As he shares here on Twitter, number one, Bitcoin and the 4-week Williams percentage R oscillator are flashing an exciting signal when there is a full oscillation from oversold to overbought. It indicates a momentum thrust. There are 6 occurrences since January 2020. After the weekly thrust, the average 1-month return is plus 25%. And he goes on to share, number 2, the Williams percentage R is attempting to complete the 4-week momentum thrust right now. I'll be very optimistic if Bitcoin can secure a strong weekly close. When it does, the data over the past 2 years indicates strong returns, but I haven't backtested it further. And he also shares number 3. Specifically, here are the dates and corresponding 1-month returns. January 2020, 17%. April 2020, 38%. July 2020, 20%. October 2020, 41%. July 2021, 20%. And October 2021, 12%. An average of 24.95%. All eyes on the weekly close to secure an overbought momentum thrust. And before I break down next story of the day, President Bukele lashes out after U.S. senators introduced legislation investigating El Salvador's Bitcoin law. But first, let's take a quick look at the overall market. As you can see, all the major cryptos are currently correcting and in the red, with Bitcoin down 2% for the day, trading just above $43,300. Ether down almost 2%, trading back under $3,100. Solana down 3%, trading back under $100. XRP down 1%, trading just under 82 cents. And Polkadot down 3%, trading just above $19.20. But all right, now let's break down our next story of the day. The new bill in question was proposed by 3 senators, which seeks to mitigate certain risks to the U.S. financial system from El Salvador's adoption of Bitcoin. I love how scared they are. They're shaking in their boots, aren't they? Since El Salvador's government passed the Bitcoin law in 2021, policymakers around the world, as well as some of the most prominent financial institutions, have expressed strong opposition. Go figure, maybe it puts them out of business. Just saying. The latest proposal by the bipartisan group of senators, Republican Senators Jim Risch and Bill Cassidy, and Democratic Senator Bob Menendez, did not go well with President Bukele, who lashed out at the interference. He said that the U.S. has zero jurisdiction on a sovereign and independent nation and asked the senators to stay out of internal affairs of the country's jurisdictions, and went on to add the following on crypto Twitter: okay, boomers, you have zero jurisdiction on a sovereign and independent nation. We are not your colony, your backyard, or your front yard. Stay out of our internal affairs. Don't try to control something you can't control. Very powerful words. If you stand with Bukele, let me know in the comments right down below. And quoting the United States Committee on Foreign Relations, El Salvador recognizing Bitcoin as official currency opens the door for money laundering, cartels, and undermines U.S. interests, said Dr. Cassidy. If the United States wishes to combat money laundering and preserve the role of the dollar as a reserve currency of the world, we must tackle this issue head on. And Congressman William Soriano responded, "Oh, I get it now. Bitcoin." That's right. Now, Risch believes that El Salvador's adoption of Bitcoin as legal tender raises significant concerns regarding the economic stability and financial integrity of what he termed a vulnerable U.S. trading partner in the Central American region. The senator said El Salvador's new policy has the potential to weaken sanctioned policies put in place by the U.S., thereby empowering malicious actors like China and organized criminal organizations. He added, "Our bipartisan legislation seeks greater clarity on El Salvador's policy and requires the administration to mitigate potential risks to the U.S. financial system. Now, Cassidy, for one, noted that El Salvador's Bitcoin law will enable money laundering cartels and hinder the interests of the U.S. Now, we all know that's nothing more than FUD. It is what it is. It puts them out of business, and it's a direct threat to the central banking cartel. That, my friend, is a fact. Now, let's discuss the bill. If the bill has been enacted into law, federal agencies will have 60 days to submit a report to the appropriate committees of Congress that evaluate various aspects of El Salvador's technical capacity. The report will contain the process followed by the Salvadoran policymakers to develop and enact the Bitcoin law, assessment of its regulatory framework, and how it would mitigate financial integrity and cybersecurity risks associated with virtual currencies, whether it meets Financial Action Task Force requirements, and additionally, the effect on individuals and businesses, and more broadly, Bitcoin's impact as a legal tender on its economy. The report would also indicate several more potential consequences on macroeconomic stability and the public finances of El Salvador. These include the unbanked population, the flow of remittances from the U.S., its relations with multilateral financial institutions, the bilateral economic and commercial relationship with the U.S., and the potential for reduced use by El Salvador of the US dollar, etc. Now, the next part would also detail El Salvador's internet infrastructure, assessing the degree to which cryptocurrency is used in the country. Well, here are the facts. Before Bitcoin became a legal tender in El Salvador, over 70% of their adult population was unbanked. That's thanks to the IMF. So now with Bitcoin, they all have access to true sovereign wealth and independence, and it is what it is. Now check this out. Here's why I feel they're really going after Bukele. He speaks truth. President Bukele says Ukraine is just a distraction while the real war is against vax mandates. Preach. And as pointed out here, IMF a few weeks ago, El Salvador adopting Bitcoin is a grave risk to its stability and economy. Now U.S. senators are saying El Salvador adopting Bitcoin is a grave risk to our stability and economy. And I love Max Kaiser's response. Come at me. That's right. Get at me, dog. And Plan B shares Canada might be the next Cyprus moment for Bitcoin. In 2013, the price of Bitcoin shot up when the Cyprus financial crisis led to fears of a run of the banks. And as Xiangping Zhao shares, Bitcoin is apolitical, always neutral. He ain't telling no lies. And before I break down next story of the day, crypto analyst predicts parabolic Bitcoin rally and updates massive Bitcoin price target for 2022. But first, let's take a quick look at the overall crypto market cap, sitting just under that $2 trillion milestone with about 76 billion in volume in the past 24 hours. Current Bitcoin dominance is 42% even, with the Ether dominance at 18.8%. And checking out the top 100 cryptocurrency gainers for the past month, I was looking at the week, but there's virtually none that are actually in the green. So for the past month, we have Leo up 56.8%, Theta Fuel up 23.7%, XRP up almost 10%, DFI up 22%, SPA up 28%, and Bora up 24%. But all right, now let's break down our next story of the day. Popular crypto strategist and trader predicting that a parabolic rally is in store for the king of all crypto in the coming months as he unveils his huge price target for Bitcoin this year. Synonymous analyst Tech Dev, shout out to Tech Dev, tells his 363,000 Twitter followers that he's looking at the inverted chart of Bitcoin and says that Bitcoin is in a long-term uptrend. Tech Dev's bullish thesis is based on the idea that Bitcoin continues to respect the 20-month moving average as support. Quoting him here, Bitcoin continues to reflect off the 20-month moving average in a clear multi-year downtrend of lower highs and lower lows. Another dump does not seem far away, and he shares this chart. Now, traders sometimes invert charts to get different perspectives and see whether the inverted price action still supports their thesis. In Bitcoin's case, TechDev says Bitcoin will rally after hitting the 20-month moving average, just like it did in 2019 to 2020. And looking at the weekly chart, the crypto analyst says he's waiting for Bitcoin to move above the 50-week moving average to potentially ignite a parabolic run, as he shares here, comparing weekly Bitcoin candles with similar prints at similar distances from the 50-week moving average at similar RSI levels, watching for follow-through. And based on TechDev's chart, Bitcoin's relative strength indicator, known as the RSI as a momentum indicator, managed to reclaim support at 45,000 back in April of 2020. The rise in momentum preceded Bitcoin's move above the 50-week moving average, which eventually launched BTC into a steep price climb. Now, TechDev appears to be looking at the same confluence of events to signal the next Bitcoin surge. The crypto analyst is also looking at the 11-year history of Bitcoin's price rises, and according to TechDev, Bitcoin can potentially rally to $160,000 before the end of the year based on Bitcoin's tendency to top out at 4 standard deviations from the 50-week exponential moving average. As he shares here, Bitcoin impulse patterns, and in this chart, it shows you Bitcoin ascending to $160,000. Do you feel this is a likely target before the end of the year? Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments right down below. And before I break down our final story of the day, Bitcoin now ready to surge, according to crypto analyst Nicholas Merton, and shares his targets. But first, I want to remind you to smash that show more button right below this video in the description for detailed analysis of what's going on in the crypto market. This goes for all 1,000 plus videos right here on my YouTube channel. Also, some very helpful resources for you to tap into, including my crypto merch store, now live at merch.cryptonewsalerts.net. Also, a daily letter, which goes out to over 30,000 subscribers every single day. To subscribe, visit letter.cryptonewsalerts.net. Also, a blog I update daily, which can be found at cryptonewsyes.com. Also, be sure to smash that subscribe button and ring that bell to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, just like this. And of course, you can find me on all the major podcasts and platforms, from Spotify, home of the Joe Rogan Experience, to Apple's iTunes. And if you're listening to the pod, be sure to check out the YouTube channel at cryptonewsalerts.net for the full premium experience with video. And of course, you can follow me on crypto Twitter, Facebook, Telegram, and TikTok. So wherever you're at, be sure to follow me there. But all right, now let's break down our final story of the day, shall we? A popular crypto analyst is laying out a roadmap for where the king of all crypto is headed in the coming months, as well as for the rest of 2022. In a new strategy session, Nicholas Merton tells his 510,000 YouTube subs that despite Bitcoin's dramatic fall from a November all-time high above $69,000 to under $34,000 on January 24th, it has actually held up better than expected, but not dipping below the $30,000 mark. Quoting him here, to see since back here in January, since the discount revisited this range, that we aren't getting any close retests down to 30,000 or 25,000, as a lot of people were kind of taking a perspective on. We are instead seeing that buyers are coming in at higher premiums and that they are buying up the dips quite quickly. That's right, BTFD, buy that freaking dip. The Data Dash host believes that Bitcoin's ability to hold the line and then recapture 40,000 could mean the leading crypto will surge back towards its previous all-time high within the next 2 months, as he shares here. What I think is really incredible about all of this is that not only we've got the setup to really start chartering higher here, it might mean that over the next coming weeks, we could really be back into the territory where we're revisiting back towards this previous resistance range of $65,000, which is the previous all-time highs. I would bet that this is something we're probably going to see in April. Now we're currently in February, so that's just 2 months away. Now Merton says that while some investors are waiting for the absolute cheapest Bitcoin bargains, optimistic bulls chose to pull the trigger and lock in their Bitcoin rather than miss the next rally, as he shares here. Some other bulls in the market who aren't waiting around, the smart money in this case, decided to just go in and start buying, and they are doing it a lot quicker than the last time. What we need to see here, roughly speaking, is a retest here, a third higher high in price, higher than the previous ones in the past, and eventually we might have some kind of pullback that'll scare people. I don't think it's going to be anywhere significantly close to what we've seen in late 2021 because the trend is getting stronger. And he shares this chart which shows you Bitcoin going parabolic, hitting about that $200,000 mark. Now the chart analyst looks ahead towards the end of the year for Bitcoin to not only finally breach that six-figure level, but possibly double that price by November. As he shares here, the prices are going to start moving higher, getting back above this previous resistance range, setting in new all-time highs, and potentially making that range support and having one final spring up rally going into the close of the year sometime in November. That's our target. We've been talking about Bitcoin reaching $150,000 to $200,000 in that time frame. And to watch this entire analysis with Nicholas Merton entitled "Is a Bitcoin Surge Imminent?" Here's what you need to know. Check the show notes below the video in the description. I also like to point out something that really made me laugh. Venereal disease Charlie Munger says Bitcoin and other cryptos are beneath contempt. This old fart. It's very interesting. He's been bashing Bitcoin for the longest time, but he is the VP of Berkshire Hathaway, meaning he works hand in hand with Warren Buffett, who just invested $1 billion into a crypto-friendly bank. So you're looking at a hypocrite. Now check out this video clip of Charlie Munger saying that he believes that fiat currencies are going to zero.
A safe assumption for an investor is that over the next 100 years, the currency is going to zero. That's my working hypothesis.
Wow. Well, that'll be a different type of environment, won't it?
Now for the top 3 comments from yesterday's episode, eCoin wrote, "Aloha JV, great show and great flow. Hyper Bitcoinization, can't wait and stoked for the future of money. Cheer. Aloha fam, Hyper Bitcoinization, let's freaking go." Our next featured comment comes from Steve Ainsworth, who wrote, "Many would agree with your sarcastic pronunciation of JP Morgan's CEO's name, but the usual pronunciation is diamond, not a catastrophe this time. Cheers fam, you totally got it. I called Jamie Dimon a demon on purpose this go around. it is what it is. And our third and final featured comment comes from David number 23. El Zante leaves a mark like Zorro. Now we're talking El Zante. Let's go. And to be featured on tomorrow's episode, drop me a comment right down below.